So let's start with an example today. I wanted to talk about an incident which happened where a truck driver tried to pass under a low bridge, but unfortunately he couldn't. The truck was lodged firmly under the bridge, and the driver tried to drive through and reverse out the truck, but still there was no go for him. This resulted in a lot of panic for the driver, and there were a lot of emergency response team who gathered. The reason for their gathering is because there was a lot of traffic that happened over there. They had a couple of engineers coming there, and a couple of truck drivers also gathered. They were trying to negotiate and devise a solution on releasing the truck. So, a couple of solutions that they came up with. The firefighters wanted to dismantle the parts of the truck, whereas the other truck drivers also insisted on the same. The engineering team wanted to chip away the parts of the bridge. The driver denied to dismantle the truck. The engineering team also had concerns where it's going to be a lot of cost involved while chipping away the parts of the bridge and the repair works that is going to happen. And in the midst of this, there was a small boy who was walking towards the truck. So he was curious to know what actually happened over there. The emergency team were kind enough to explain him about the situation there. And the boy just glanced at the bridge, the truck, and the road. And he also offered a solution. So I want everyone over here to make a note of the solution, what you can think of, and let's discuss this post the session. And let me go with the boy's solution here. So the boy stated, rather than doing all this, why don't you just let out the air from the tires? The people were amazed. The response team wanted to try out the solution, and surprisingly, the solution worked. The truck was able to drive with ease, and it suffered only a minimal damage, which were caused during the initial attempts they were trying to do. And a key note over here, all the solutions provided by the engineering team, the firefighters, were all based on their level of expertise. So why did we talk about this example right now? This example inspires us to see opportunities, ideas, and solutioning. And it also inspires us to have the eye of a designer. As we walk throughout the world, we see a lot of designs around us. So right now, I see a lot of designs over here. And we also try to understand what is good, what is bad, and more importantly, we try to see or ask the question, why? I just remembered a quote. I try not to think out of the box anymore, but on its edge, its corners, its flaps, and under its barcode. So this was quoted by Clint Runge, a professor at University of Nebraska. So he's also one of the founding members of design thinking community. So with this quote, let's reset our mental boxes. We have to create a design thinking mindset. So I'm going to take you on a journey today on a powerful problem solving approach, which has a potential to transform the way we solution, the way we face challenges. The challenges may be a personal dilemma or a pressing global issue as well. So this has the power and the potential to tackle almost all of the problems that we face. So what is design thinking? In local terminologies, I would say we have a design. We think of ways how the designs can be modified, how the designs can be changed. And the design might have a flaw, or it might have a certain area of improvement that needs to be uncovered. So that is design thinking. It is a mindset and not a methodology. We need to understand that. It is a mindset that anyone can adopt. It is not restricted to designers, artists, or any specific domains, or only an IT industry we can use it, or in education only it can be used. It can be applied almost in anything and everywhere. That is the uniqueness of this technique. So here we're going to see how empathy meets ideation and how user experience fuels or is a driving force for creating better solutions which can shape up our world. Welcome to the design thinking world. Imagine this, you have a pressing problem at hand. And instead of jumping right into the solution, you first try to understand the people affected by the problem. It's all about walking in their shoes, seeing the world through their eyes. This is nothing but empathy. And why do we empathize here? Or why do we need empathy? We try to understand the opportunities, the needs that the people who are affected have. And by empathizing, you gain valuable insights, which you might have initially missed while jumping into the solution at first. That is empathizing here. So we got our insights and needs here. The next stage or the next step, we're going to define it. Define, like how do we write examinations? We have a question. Define networking. Define LAN. So it's simple. We're going to just collate all the needs or the opportunities that we identified into actionable problem statements. We're going to break it down into bits and pieces over there, and we're going to ensure that these can be actioned in the future. The main emphasis of define is sometimes what we initially think the problem might not be the real cause. There might be hidden problems or scenarios or situations which are also there. So defining is an essential part in design thinking. And next, it's going to be the fun part. We're going to ideate, or ideation is the next stage or the step. Here, we brainstorm a multitude of unconventional ideas. It might be wild. It can be anything. The sky is the limit for an ideation over here. So n number of ideas can be put in over here. And it's all about quantity and not about quality at this stage. And this process actually helps in our creativity. And once your ideations are set on the drawing board, next we go ahead with another interesting stage. We all do experiments. Especially students here, we do a lot of experimentation on physics, chemistry. There are a lot of lab practicals over here. So that is the next stage. We're going to experiment over here. And the technical term is prototyping. So what do we do over here? It's not going to be any fancy experiment or prototypes that we are going to use. It's going to be rough, low-cost versions of your ideas that is going to be designed over here. You will have these experiments mainly teaches us to reiterate, refine our solutions, our ideas over here. The next stage is where we're going to test our products. Nothing works out unless we test it. And the testing phase happens with real end users. So why do we give it to real users? It's just a prototype. The reason is because we get feedback. We gain a lot of knowledge. For example, whenever you talk to an Airtel customer service or whenever you order food in Swiggy, at the end, they ask you a survey. Pretty much it's like that. So we are going to get the feedback. And once that is done, this will be again used to refine and redefine the needs and insights over there. So your solution keeps evolving and growing as the stages in your testing phase. So this is a complete process or the life cycle of design thinking. Now, why should we embrace design thinking over here? It is not a linear methodology. like other problem solving techniques. I don't want to go in detail. So it's very flexible. I can use design thinking to create a user friendly website, from reimagining a public transportation system as well. So that is the power of this approach. And let's see some of the examples where design thinking has helped. Talking about the medical field, hospitals are no longer cold, intimidating places, but they are designed with empathy and it's patient centric. As we see over here, children and elderly people are a little nervous and it causes a lot of panic attack from getting into an MRI machine or an equipment. A small design, a small sticker or painting changes the whole environment. People are comfortable, children are comfortable getting inside the MRI machine, thinking that it's a spaceship or it's a deep ocean exploration tube that I'm going inside. And few of the social innovations also I wanted to talk about over here. We have students who followed design thinking by reuse, recycle process. They created a toileting system for their school. And all the products they used over here are readily available and recycled too. Sustainability, design thinking is here. And the next example I wanted to talk about, this video went viral on the TV and the internet, where you see a simple machinery over here helps you to balance the load or the weight that is being given to these animals over here. So the animal is pretty much not harmed and it's ideally very helpful. So these are the few examples where design thinking has worked its magic on. And in the meantime, I want everyone to adopt design thinking into your life, into your work, in your communities, because this approach, it's all about its simplicity and not about its complexity. And together, we can design a better and a brighter future. And the spirit of design thinking should be taken beyond these walls, where we face challenges with the curiosity of a baby, the empathy of a friend, and the creativity of an artist.